p.m. on Power 98.7. Now we're talking.
To end the program this week, an interesting perspective on the American election, which takes place in November this year. And this is the argument. American presidential debates have very little to do with policy and debate. They're about who wins the narrative, be it by body language, demeanor, or a single hard-hitting zinger aimed at the opposition's fatal flaw. Now, Hillary Clinton, by means of a calm demeanor and a string of solid attacks on Donald Trump, clearly won the narrative in last week's debate. BrandsEye, it's a social media analytics agency, says that in real time during the debate, a decisive victory nationally was declared for Clinton. JP Kloppers is the Chief Executive Officer of BrandsEye and joins us on the update. JP, good afternoon to you and welcome. And you're suggesting that narrative stumps policy all the time, which is indeed a sad indictment not only of politics in the United States of America, but probably the world over.
I think so, yeah. Good afternoon, Jeremy. Great to chat to you. It is in fact a sad kind of state of affairs in American politics at the moment, when people aren't backing kind of politicians for their policies, but rather for their kind of popular vote, if you like. And it's even worse than that in the U.S. at the moment, where it's become a mudslinging competition between the two candidates, as we saw in the debate.
You're also suggesting in your analysis, coming from social media data that was gathered, that come November, this is not necessarily going to be a decisive victory for Clinton, as perhaps conventional wisdom would suggest.
Yeah, I think the U.S. is very different to South Africa in terms of how the president is elected. Each state votes, and so of the 50 states, a good portion of voting Democrat, and the polls show that, and then a good portion of voting Republican, which is for Trump. But there are a few in the middle which are still undecided, and these are the contested states, or the battleground states as they refer to them in the U.S. And so honing in specifically in those few battleground states, that's really where the magic's going to happen. And in a state like Florida, which has 29 electoral votes, so they can actually move quite a lot of people, because each candidate only needs to get 270 votes to win the presidency. So 29 is a big number. And so in the states of Florida, for example, we see Clinton moved well ahead in the post-debate discussion on social media, and the polls will probably reflect that. But in a state like North Carolina, Trump moved ahead. So same debate, same conversation, but in these different states, we're seeing different responses as a result of the debate. And that's fascinating, because it means that what we see kind of in popular media is not always kind of a good reflection of how people on the ground in those specific states feel.
So leading on from that, you also, JP, suggest that a rampant Clinton victory in the first debate, and I think that's fairly given, hasn't altered important fundamentals of the election. Where then is she failing, this is Hillary Clinton, to move the needle?
So I think just drilling down a bit further into those two states. In Florida, we see she's moved ahead, but social media, it's as useful as it is, we've got to take it within context. So Florida's got quite a big aging population who aren't that well represented on social media. So whether she's struck a chord with that group of voters, it remains to be seen. Likewise in Pennsylvania, Pennsylvania is one of the other swing states. Big, I think it's got 20 electoral votes, so also a significant victory both ways. The polls currently are showing it going towards Clinton. Social media is showing Clinton just ahead as well. But what is fascinating about Pennsylvania is there's been no shift in the social media sentiment post the debate. So it means that either a couple of the scenarios could play out. Either there are just not that many people speaking about it there, but I think what's more likely is that there's kind of a big base of voters who are still undecided, and that's really what the Clinton campaign needs to worry about, because while it's kind of punted to be a Democrat state and vote for Clinton, Obama referred to it previously as the state which clinged to guns and religion in the midst of economic hardship. And so that really plays more into Trump's hand than into Clinton's. So depending on what kind of big events go down, if there's another big shooting or some kind of global catastrophe over the next 6 weeks, those are the kinds of people who would then opt for the more gung-ho politician, which is Trump, than the safer, option of Clinton. So that's really where we're going to need to keep a very close eye on things over these next couple of weeks, is in those three states, Pennsylvania, Florida, Ohio, and then North Carolina is a close fourth in the ones to watch.
JP Kloppers, thank you very much indeed, Chief Executive Officer of the agency BrandsEye. And that's the Power Update for this Monday. Goodbye to you. Thank you for listening. It's exactly 1